The second ever LV Game of the Week saw Surrey claim 4 batting bonus points after they resumed their first innings on the second morning with a score of 262 for 4 on the board from 83.2 overs. 6 more have been added to that when Jimmy Anderson struck with the second new ball to bag the 699th wicket of his first-class career. The man out was Stephen Davis for 34, Carl Brown with the catch, but that wicket did not open the floodgates as far as Lancashire were concerned. Anderson on the previous evening spoke of the importance of the new cherry, but Jason Roy enjoyed its hardness, playing his shots with the authority of a man whose confidence must be high after his time spent with the England one-day team. Roy was well backed up by Gary Wilson, who helped his side into the 300s in the 92nd over. Surrey began this match with a 5-point advantage over their hosts here and knew that a victory at Emirates Old Trafford would make them the almost certain winners of the LV County Championship Second Division title. As far as the Londoners were concerned, the morning could not have gone much better, in spite of that early loss of Davis. Roy, who started the day on 15, went to his half-century in the best possible way with this 6 off Simon Kerrigan, which took the batsman to his mark of 64 deliveries. He'd also found the boundary 6 times, and he soon had his team beyond 350. Kerrigan had to wait until his 26th over of this innings before he got his first wicket. Roy on 66, swinging and missing to end his partnership with Wilson on 95, those runs being made in 17 overs. But Wilson remained, and he was at his 50 off just his 53rd delivery with his 7th 4, a rather fortuitous one. The Irishman has a habit of producing just the kind of knocks his side needs at just the right moment, and this innings was no different. He added 24 more runs with Sam Curran, the 17-year-old back out of school to show yet more people his skills. It is, of course, his bowling which has turned heads this year, but he's also a very handy batsman too, as shots such as this one proved. He lost Wilson, who was out for 51, Kerrigan striking again to give Brown his second catch of a morning session, which brought Surrey 137 runs in 31 overs and Lancashire 3 wickets. The visitors earned 4 bonus points to their hosts 2 with the ball. After lunch, Sam Curran, now joined by his brother Tom, continued to look good, these two adding 37 runs for the 8th wicket. But then there followed a big wicket for Anderson, who now bagged the 700th of his extraordinary first-class career, as Tom Curran top-edged an attempted pull to on-loan Durham keeper Phil Mustard. Anderson has had quite a summer of reaching landmarks, and he will have enjoyed this moment immensely. 413 of those 700 wickets, of course, have come in the Test arena. Tom was soon followed back to the pavilion by his young brother, who'd made 29 when he gave Kerrigan his 3rd success. Ashwell Prince with the simple catch, possibly the last of his career. Lancashire would have hoped that that was just about that, but they were kept out in the field for another 15 overs by Matt Dunn and Gareth Batty. While Dunn stuck it out for 50 minutes in making only 3, Batty played some shots, and 3 times he cleared the boundary rope off the spinners Kerrigan and Aaron Lilly. It was an excellent counter from a man who's really enjoyed this season, leading his team very well. Batty rushed to a 50 off 61 deliveries. Dunn was then out as Surrey ended on 480, the kind of total which should now make them impossible to beat in this contest. And a defeat became yet more unlikely for them after the visitors began very well with the ball in spite of Brown and Hasid Hamid opening up their side's reply with a stand of 28 made in the first 9 overs. That was brought to an end when Sam Curran found enough movement through the air to have Hamid heading off LBW for 17. Curran Sr. then grabbed his 61st championship wicket of this summer as Alvaro Peterson went in the same way for a single. Surrey, and the Currans in particular, were now on fire, and 2 more wickets were soon in the bag. Sam was right on target again to remove Brown LBW for 27. And then Stephen Croft gave the boy who only turned 17 in June his 3rd success and his 15th first-class wicket in his 5th match, with an edge behind to Ben Folkes, a wicket which left Lancashire in a bit of a mess on 57 for 4. Now, before Croft was out, there was a moment of concern for Zafar Ansari. On the day he was included in the England Test squad to take on Pakistan in the UAE next month, he took a nasty blow on his left hand, fielding at point, and showed immediate pain. He left the field straight away before heading off for an X-ray on his left thumb. Meanwhile, on the day that he announced his retirement, this time for real, we understand, the country's leading run scorer Ashwell Prince had a job on his hands to keep his struggling side in touch. He was joined at the crease by Mustard, who's been out of red ball cricket for a while after a run of low scores for Durham. He wouldn't have expected to be making his Lancashire debut batting under such circumstances. Mustard began to move ahead of his very experienced partner, the keeper playing with freedom as he struck 7 boundaries in his 43, made out of an important 5th wicket partnership of 63. Batty, who ended his last spell in the win over Derbyshire with a hat-trick, was soon in the action again, foxing Mustard with some sharp turn to have him stumped by Folkes with his 13th delivery. Prince, though, survived until the closing, getting to 38 in what will be one of his very last innings of his great career.
I think, at some stage in your life, family becomes more important than personal goals. And I think that's probably the main reason, It's nice to be able to go and watch your kids play football on a Saturday rather than watching it on the Skype from 5,000 miles away.
Yeah, we play some good cricket, obviously 2 days to go yet. Hopefully the weather will keep away. But it's nice, you play against a very good side. Lancashire have led the table for the majority of the season. We've just gone ahead of them now. So it's a good little test for both sides, really, to play against each other before we play First Division cricket next year. But we want to go up as champions, obviously Lancashire do too. But at the moment we've got our noses ahead.
So Lancashire still have much work to do to restore parity in Manchester and even to avoid the follow-on. They will resume on the third morning on 141 for 5, and that has them still 339 runs behind.